Alright everybody, welcome back to more Shibuya Scramble. My name is Raven from the Sky, and let's do this. The Super Club 90 raced down Route 246 towards Shibuya. A motorcycle produced by Honda with 85cc engine displacement. Common sight around town, often used by newspaper and postal delivery workers. Many owners are big enthusiasts, sometimes even swapping out parts such as the handlebars and mufflers and giving the body a repaint, resulting in fashionable bikes that don't even look like Super Cubs at first glance. Like a moped. The speedometer remained at a steady 60 kph. Kilometers per hour, I think. Pumping the gas harder was no use. This is as fast as the bike will go. Minorikawa shouted as he sped along. "Darn it! I'm not letting you die!" He jerked the handlebars and blew past the truck on the inside. The driver scowled at him as he shot by. "You maniac! You trying to get yourself killed?" "Just the opposite." Minorikawa shouted back, "I'm saving lives." The stoplight ahead turned red, cutting him off at the intersection. Oh, come on. He had no choice but to slam on the brakes. But his agitation boiled over as he waited for the signal to change again. How long is this thing gonna stay red? Hurry up already. He brought the bike right up to the very edge of the line, keeping the engine revved like a dragster, ready to peel out. "Not on time" is not in my dictionary. The light turned red. Then Minorikawa's own light turned green at last. He hit the accelerator as hard as he could. His engine died with with a sputter. Hold on, does he have pedals? Is it a hybrid moped and bicycle? Although those are pretty heavy. Huh? Oh, come on. What the heck? His engine died with a sputter, huh? Car's horn blared angrily behind him. In a fury, he pulled his bike over to the side of the road. No matter what he did, the engine refused to turn over. Was the problem with the spark plug or maybe the battery? Whatever it was, he didn't have time to figure it out now. With tears in his eyes, he left the bike his companion of 10 years abandoned on the roadside. He was about to break into a run when he saw a taxi dead ahead, letting out a passenger. He hurried to hop in the cab. Wait a minute. I think this is the guy we ran into on the other story. Just head for Shibuya Station. I'll let you know exactly where once we get closer. The taxi driver nodded coolly. Of course, sir. 10 minutes! I need you to get me there in 10 minutes. The driver grimaced. I'm afraid getting there in 10 minutes is a bit. 15 then. Sir, that's still. Look, that's all the time I can afford. Assuming traffic conditions cooperate, sir, then maybe. I can't make any promises. Minorikawa looked at the driver's ID photo above the fare meter. His name was Hachikuro Kimizuka. He was a middle-aged fellow, looked a little rough around the edges. "Mr. Kimizuka, I chose you for this. You can do it." "Chose me? Sir, I'm pretty certain we met by chance." "Okay, sure. I suppose you could phrase it that way." "Anyhow, can we get going?" "Right," Kimizuka said with a faint sigh. "I'll see what I can do." The taxi pulled away at a decent clip. Minorikawa's frantic journey had started 20 minutes earlier. I'm positive that's the same guy. He'd been at home working on an interview piece. He clucked his tongue in annoyance as the ringing phone broke his train of thought. Why did someone always call right when the words were flowing? If he didn't keep getting interrupted, he probably could wrap this piece up in no time. Be quiet! He pointed at the telephone as he yelled. I'm writing here. But his shouting did nothing to silence the ringing. He didn't have much choice but to pick up. Minorikawa speaking. There was no response. Hello? He hesitated, ready to hang up. Was this a prank call? It's me. It's Toyama. It was Teruo Toyama, the president of Heaven Publishing. Oh, I skipped it. Oh, what do you want? Wait, can I go back? No. If this was about work, I'm already booked pretty full. He'd taken work from Heaven Publishing on several occasions, but the pay was hardly competitive. Lately, he'd been turning them down a lot. He hadn't heard from Toyama in a while. No, this isn't work-related. Then what do you want? I'm kind of pressed for time here, working on some copy. Minorikawa was in no mood to beat around the bush. It seemed like every conversation he had with Toyama went like this. Are you busy? That's good. Busy's good. When are you a freelancer? Toyama sounded unusually sympathetic. Minorikawa found it off-putting. I heard sales have been good on your end, he said cautiously, with this month's 4-Star General Gossip and all. 4-Star General Gossip was a monthly magazine. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Magazine focusing on the private lives of celebrities and politicians. Most of the articles found in its pages are random nonsense, but one out of every 100 or so contains an actual major scoop, making it a difficult outlet to ignore. So that's how they make their money. People hoping to get the good scoop, but if you've already bought it if you get one that's bad. So yeah, that's how they do. Like the tabloids. But you really can't believe what you see in the tabloids, man. It had a small circulation and for the most part flew under the radar. But once in a while, they'd land some big scoop and sell like crazy. Yep. This month's edition had come with a free scratch card, a gimmick that had moved 100,000 copies with ease. 5 winning symbols in a row wins 100,000 yen, was it? Minorikawa was asked. A weak, moist sound came through the receiver. Baffled, Minorikawa listened more closely. It came again, then again. Kind of sounded like sobbing. Mr. Toyama, are you crying? There was another soft sob and then yet another. What's going on? Where are you? Minorikawa asked. At the office, Toyama managed. He let out another middling whimper. What's the matter? It's nothing. Well, it's gotta be something. Come on, what is it? Toyama gave no reply. Mrs. Toyama, you still there? What is it? What happened? Look, doesn't tell me anything. The hell's going on? Toyama squeaked out a drawn-out whine. Okay, I'm sick of this. I'm hanging up now. Minorikawa was about to break the connection when he heard Toyama murmur. The only thing I can do now is die. The taxi's tires squealed as the cab rounded. Okay, so that's the inspiration of that. That's where he's going. The shift in momentum made Minorikawa topple over in the back seat. There we go. 10 minutes on the dot, the driver announced. Minorikawa righted himself and looked out the window. Shibuya Station. I knew you could do it, Mr. Kimizuka. Told the driver how to get to Heaven Publishing. Shouldn't be more than 5 minutes. Sir, if I may ask, just why are you in such a hurry over? Son of a gun. I beg your pardon? Kimizuka bristled. Not you, the guy who's waiting on me, Minorikawa said. If I'm going to give that son of a gun a piece of my mind. The multi-tenant building where Heaven Publishing had its offices came into view. The taxi stopped outside. Minorikawa opened the door as he hurriedly reached for his wallet, then he stopped. What if the worst had come to pass and needed to take Toyama to a hospital? Should he have the taxi wait here? Or would it be better to call an ambulance? Sir, is there a problem? The driver asked. Oh boy. Wait here, I'll be right back. No, I'm fine. You're a lifesaver. How much do I owe you? No, I'm fine. You're a lifesaver. How much do I owe you? Your car paid the fare and got out of the cab. I'm going to swing by the train station. If I don't get any passengers, I'll come by this way again, Kimizuka said. Taxi pulled away. Once inside, he avoided the elevator in favor of rushing up the stairs. Heaven Publishing rented out the 3rd and 4th floors. In all likelihood, Toyama would be at the editing department of the 4-star General Gossip on the 4th floor. When he got there, however, the door was locked. Mr. Toyama! Hey, Mr. Toyama! He shouted and banged, but there was no reply. Something was seriously wrong. Minorikawa took a deep breath and then kicked the door. Whoa! Toyama was standing on a stool about to slip his head through a noose and hung from the ceiling. What the heck are you doing? Minorikawa lunged for Toyama. He then crashed to the floor in a tangled heap. A pile of clutter slid off a nearby desk and fell on top of them. Minorikawa, what are you doing? Toyama whined. Dragging himself back to his feet proved something of a challenge. That's what I'd like to know. Minorikawa's fury was mounting. What the heck is this all about? He jabbed an accusing finger at the noose hanging from the ceiling. Oh, that. One of the fluorescent lights died, and I was just swapping it out. Don't you feed me that bull. What was that phone call about? Business about how the only thing you could do was die? Tell me. Ha ha ha, just a joke. Toyama curled his lips into a faint semblance of a smile. Minorikawa wasn't buying it, but he didn't have time to press the issue. A cute little voice echoed through the editing office. Daddy, I'm back from the store. A little girl came walking in carrying a length of rubber gas tubing. It was Toyama's 5th grade daughter, Hannah. Teruo Toyama's only daughter, currently 10 years old. The night Hannah was born at Shibuya Central Hospital, there was an unexpected fireworks display outside the window of the maternity ward as he looked out at the bursting rockets. Tiro decided to name his daughter Hana after the Japanese word for fireworks, Hanabi. Nora started, Toyama, you were planning on using that hose to... He hesitated to end his sentence with gas yourself to death. Well, you know, it's almost gas heater season after all. The heck it is. It was a beautiful sunny April day outside. Well, you know how sensitive I am to the cold. This was getting truly ridiculous. Minorikawa got right up in his face. Listen, just explain to me what the heck is going on, okay? He kept his voice low, but his eyes were steely. Hana clung tightly to her father, gazing worriedly up at the two men. No, it's just... Toyama let out a long, heavy sigh of resignation. Now what? To progress further, you'll need to jump from another protagonist. Hidden with a tip. A man named Junichi Yanagashita shows up in Tama's story at 11:20, and he lets out a sigh like Toyama's. Try checking the tip for that sigh. Okay, so now we got to jump. At 11:20. Yeah, but see, I got the bad ending. Hold it right there. At 11:20. Let's see. Okay, we've already read this, so I'm just kind of skimming through it. Nope. Not better not drink this stuff. It's not even particularly advertising. Wait. We'll go with C. Stuff that gives you visions or something. I remember a rumor I heard not too long ago of some kind of urban legend. It was about some drink with a weird burning spicy flavor, and supposedly it turns all of your fingernails a faint shade of black. Then you see things you can't normally see and hear things you can't normally hear. Who are you? Heard some college students talking about hearing voices like that, swearing this mystery drink could have that effect. It's a little unnerving still. I really doubt it could be true. Okay, so that portion's new. Let's see. He's drunken anyway, so what's the point in having that choice? Just to get that little extra little piece of info? Okay, I'm trying to see if that guy pops up. Okay, we already saw this. There's somebody. Okay, we saw this part. We just didn't see that part about that urban legend or the mystery. So we did that just to get that small little piece. It ended up being the same. We've seen this already. It reverted back to the same thing. So I might get the bad ending again. I'm talking about some dude shows up at 11:20 and lets out the same sigh. Who? Or unless they're talking about him. He let out the heaviest of sighs. I'm starting to feel pretty bad for the guy. Here we go. As long as they mirror in the company this way. No, it's just it's the scratch cards that were in 4-Star General Gossip. Of course, a type of lottery card featuring areas printed with a special silver ink. Yep, can be scratched off with the fingertip. Yeah, we got scratch tickets over here in America. Quick speed lotto fix. In order to prevent the symbols or letters underneath the silver from showing through, back of the card is printed in black. Somehow you always seem to lose when you got your hopes up, but manage to win when you least expect it. Yeah, it is like that, huh? That's where the problem is. And what is the problem? If you shine a light on the cards from behind, you can see where the winning symbols are. So he must not be printing them like it's supposed to be printed. So people just do this. I'm holding it up as if you can see me. Well, they just hold it up to the light. Up. Now I win. Buy another up. This is a winner. So keep buying magazines, getting the tickets, and throwing out the dummy tickets and just getting the winners. Whoa. I messed things up dealing with the printing company. All of this, he gestured vaguely. It's my fault. My responsibility. Proceeded to explain the situation in detail. Bird was quick to leak on the internet that there was a way to find the winning symbols. Of course. You really gotta be on your P's and Q's now with companies, with YouTube. As soon as something like that would come out, people gonna be like, oh, here's a way to figure out. Here's a way to do this. Here's a hack. Especially with TikTok, there's all types of life hacks. All types of life hacks. And if you're not careful, man, people will figure out your little ruse or whatever. Even though I don't want to say like a ruse, or like a scam. It's not. Well, it's gray with gambling, right? With lotto and gambling, it's gray areas. It's like half and half. It's like you're not really winning, but yet you are. Like that tip explained it perfectly. How you lose when your hopes up, but when you least expect it, you win. Like you'll win when you're not really trying. Like, oh, I got another scratch ticket, scratch it off. Oh, I won. You know, it's like hit and miss. So it's like, I can't really explain it. Okay, was a hit with a massive financial liability, and the employees rushed to flee a sinking ship. Before Toyama realized it, he was the only one left at the company, and he was up against the deadline for next month's 4-star general gossip. If I have to drop next month's issue, I'll be stuck in debt even deeper. And if that happens, I'm finished. Toyama gave a dismal groan. So don't drop the issue, Minorikawa snapped. He punched his fist right into the side of a cardboard box, but Toyama just shook his head weakly. Been up for 3 days straight trying to fill the pages. It's not enough. I can't do the impossible. He dropped his gaze to the floor. Countless scratch cards lay scattered about. They had probably been amidst a pile that had fallen off the desk earlier. Each card showed a neat row of 5 win symbols. You can't know if it's impossible if you don't see it through. I'll never make it in time. The proof needs to be done by 8 o'clock this evening. The final stage before printing. The copy or manuscript is checked for errors. Not sending corrected proofs to the printer before the deadline can result in a book or magazine in question not making it into the shelves in time for the release date. Well then, Minorikawa thought to himself. He let out a sigh, then held his hand out to Hannah. Hannah, would you mind giving me that hose? Hannah gave her father a quick look, then handed the rubber hose to Minorikawa. This won't be necessary. He tossed the rubber hose to the trash, then jabbed his finger at Toyama. Show me the layout, the draft proposal for next month's issue. Toyama blinked a few times in disbelief. Huh? You can't possibly be serious. I'm trying to help. Now show me the layout and the proposal before I change my mind. After a brief, incredulous pause, Toyama hurried off to grab the paperwork. A layout in publishing speak is an outline of magazines showing which articles will occupy which pages. Minorikawa gave it a quick once-over, finding that 12 of the pages were still blank and untouched. He wanted to punch whatever rights had been assigned to those pages, whatever writers. See what I mean? Toyama said. It's hopeless. He sounded perversely proud of his failure. Getting enough material to fill 12 pages by 8 o'clock. Yeah, it was definitely a tall order, all right. Says who? Minorikawa replied. Remember who you're talking to here. You seriously think you can do it? You're joking, right? Minorikawa shot back. I seriously know I can do it. There's nothing in this world that I hate more than a bad joke. Why are you doing this for me? Toyama was getting misty-eyed. I'm not doing it for you, you spineless wimp. I'm doing it for poor little Hannah. Minorikawa, I'm so sorry. Toyama bowed his head so deeply. Minorikawa thought he might put his face through the floor. Don't apologize to me. Apologize to your daughter. Oh, forgive me. Please forgive me, Hannah. Toyama clutched her tightly in his arms. The girl hugged him back, on the verge of tears. Hey now, enough of the waterworks. I've got your backs. Don't you worry about a thing. Minorikawa picked up the draft proposal for the pages that needed filling. The word Shibuya Scuttlebutt Special were plastered across the cover sheet in big bold type. Okay, so 12-page special edition block on Shibuya, fair enough. The first on the docket. Drink yourself thin with Burning Hammer. This reeked of a scam. The only way drinking more of something would make you lose weight would be if it were mixed with a laxative, probably. Still, there wasn't enough time to tweak the layout plan now. According to the proposal write-up, a product demo was scheduled for 1 p.m. that day. The location printed on the map was blurry and hard to make out, but Minorikawa had a rough idea where it was. It looked like he didn't have much of a choice but to swing by in the hopes of getting more material. That's the guy that came in there swinging a bat. He scanned further along into the proposal. Society of Surveillance, hidden cameras installed throughout Shibuya. The rise and fall of Shibuya's Vigilant Squad. Where are they now? Washed up screenwriter showcase. Sexy Squared, twins share top prize at local university beauty contest. Shibuya now! Black market organ trafficking in Shibuya, shadow reform crime syndicate exposed. Those 7 pieces were to fill the 12 empty pages. That was the plan, at any rate, but there wasn't enough material there to make any headway. Shibuya now. Article didn't even have any proposed content. This sucked hardcore. It didn't look like there was much material for the rise and fall of Shibuya's Vigilant Squad either. The note suggested that a few years prior, a group of youngsters in Shibuya had band together to help fight crime in other neighborhoods. At this point, however, things have flipped around completely and they've become a gang of street punks themselves. A turn to the dark side. It had the makings of an interesting article, to be sure, but tracking down this gang would take time. Minorikawa was personally intrigued by the one about organ harvesting in Shibuya. The rumor was that organs were being smuggled out of the Southeast Asia and fenced locally at a tremendous price. There was even a plan to ascertain the authenticity of these claims. Fascinating. If Minorikawa was going to be spending all day gathering other material, though, he didn't have much time to spare for it. Shibuya now. The rise and fall of Shibuya Vigilante Squad. Black market organ trafficking in Shibuya. Minorikawa decided that one of the 3 would have to go. Thought about it long and hard as he stared at the draft proposal. There was a good chance he'd really screw himself over if he picked the wrong one. Finally, he decided to cut Shibuya now. Just tracking down the gang would take a ton of time. And then if they refused to be interviewed, he was hosed. His goal was just to make that 4-star general gossip made it to the press. Society of Surveillance. Where are they now? Sexy Squared. Those pieces had individuals. Oh, shoot. Maybe I should have cut that one. But no appointments had been made with any of them. Unscheduled interviews were a dicey prospect. They called him up on his cell. He made his way down the list. The only one he managed to get a hold of was Shinosuke Arari from the Where Are They Now piece. Here's probably on commercial network Sun TV. He's currently heads up a small theater trope town known as the Wandering Angels operating out of Shibuya. Later today, the troupe is putting on a performance at Theater Ace. They said he'd be willing to give a 15-minute interview after 2:30. Minorikawa sighed. He'd just have to get material from the others in a more impromptu fashion then. Putting his nose to the grindstone, he started throwing together a schedule for the day. Was it possible to get all that material and write it all up and still finish the whole thing by 8 o'clock? It was no use. No matter how he tweaked it, none of his simulations ended with him having a proof already on time. Just needed one more thing. That was another writer. Zoomed through his contacts list, calling up all the freelancers he knew. The results were depressing. Answering machines, overseas on business, in the hospital, currently doing time. Oh my God. Before long, he'd called everyone he could think of except for one, novice freelancer. Chaikai Iso. Chiaki or Chaiki. Was a bit of an odd duck, a reporter who was scared of talking to people. Minorikawa had never known anyone to become so hopelessly flustered in one sitting. It's a radical state as to be unable to speak. Chaiki's tendency to become flustered is famous among her freelance writer colleagues. Once, she conducted an hour-long interview during which she only managed to ask her interview subject's name. Yet another chapter in the legends of hopelessly fluttered Chaiki. If she couldn't talk to people, she certainly couldn't do interviews. And if she couldn't get any real interview content, she wouldn't be able to write much in the way of a copy. Would she come to his aid if asked? Quite probably. The issue was whether she would hinder more than help. This was no time for beggars to be choosers. He decided to call up Chaiki. What he needed now were dependable folks he could count on. He decided to email his contacts from back in his staff reporter days. Call up Chaiki. We're going to take a chance. This was no time for beggars to be choosers. Let's see what happens. Phone rang several times before a sleepy voice finally answered. Hello? Chaiki, hi. It's Minorikawa. Are you free today? Huh? What? She seemed thrown by the abrupt question. Did you just wake up? Huh? No, I mean, well, yeah. Good morning. Her voice still sounded half asleep. So then, I'm guessing you don't have any work slated for today as usual. Pretty much. No work, no money, no food. Nothing to do except sleep. If I'm not awake, I can't dwell on how hungry I am. She didn't sound well, almost like she literally didn't have anything to eat. Well, I've got work for you. I'm over at 4-Star General Gossip. Get over here ASAP. What? You really mean it? That seemed to finally wake her up. Yeah, but hurry. Minorikawa decided Shikaki to the Shibuya Now piece. I want you to start by getting interviews off the street around Shibuya Station. Street interviews? Chaiki's voice came out as a nervous squeak. But Mr. Mina, street interviews aren't really my, kid. You were just telling me how you couldn't afford to eat. Can you really afford to be picky right now? Well, I mean, I guess not. The piece is called Shibuya Now. Just interview at least 10 people and get me an article by 6 o'clock. Okay. Quickly explained the kind of interviews he was after, then hung up. Okay, I've got us another writer. And I'm going to stop it here for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching. My name is Raven from the Sky. If you enjoyed the episode, drop a like and subscribe to the channel. The series grow. Take care. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.